It's a big day for your Doom education, Delinquent.
Oh?
Today, we're going on a field trip through a classic megawad called Memento Mori, one of the earliest, most famous, and oft-played of all custom megawads.
Oh, yeah, doesn't that mean, remember you will die? It's like really morbid, isn't it?
How did you know that?
Hey, I'm not the delinquent of Latin, I'm the delinquent of Doom. I actually like my other classes. I googled it.
Oh, okay. Hello there, I'm MountPain27 and this is Dean of Doom, the show we give grades to classic and contemporary Doom wads. Why? Because ranking things is fun. Today's episode will be dedicated to Memento Mori, a 1995 megawad finalized in 96 that was made by a team of 21 designers, spearheaded by Thomas and Denis Möller, who comprised a mapping duo called the Innocent Crew, with notable contributions from Tom Mustaine and the Brothers Casali. As I told the Delinquent, Memento Mori is an undisputed classic. It was rated the top wad of 1996 by Doom bigwigs Linguica and Mike Watson, and it earned the rare distinction of being included among the 7 pwads eligible for Compet-N speedrunning. Rare for its time, Memento Mori also has an original score composed by the one and only Mark Klem. Some of these tracks are still used in custom wads to this day. is also a rarity for the special consideration it gives to cooperative multiplayer campaigns. The co-op trend didn't necessarily catch on, with deathmatch being the vastly more popular multiplayer format, but Memento Mori's innovation on that front is still appreciable today. So here's how the show works. Every map gets 1 grade for quality and 1 for difficulty. On the quality side, the grades go from A to F. Grade A levels are fun, memorable, visually distinctive, creative, and a fair challenge. Difficulty grades go from X to E. X for extreme, E for easy, A through D in between. Keep in mind, I probably won't have the same ideas about what makes a great level as you do, but that's okay. Disagreeing is part of the fun, after all. At the end of the day, this show is about spreading the joy of Doom, so let's do so. Before we start, the rules are, we play on ultra violence and must pistol start each level. I need to play the wad twice before reviewing it. Saves are allowed, and we go for 100% kills in all levels, making exceptions when it's just not worth it. I play on Z-Doom with compatibility set to strict. Now, to the wad. Map 1, the teleporter. For some, the view of these shotgunners and pentagrams is as iconic as turning around at the start of entryway and revving up the chainsaw. For 1995, this is a stinging opening statement. To deal with 40 hit scanners, the map offers you 5 measly stim packs and a handful of armor bonuses. The title teleporter doesn't do much except confuse the monsters, and when you reach it, the map is practically over. Are you sure you don't want to play along with me, Delinquent?
Yeah, I'm good.
Memento Mori is a lot more fun with friends.
Everything is more fun with friends.
I can't argue with that. Grade C+, difficulty D+. Map 2, the bridge. The bridge introduces a few custom textures and dates itself with excessive pinky usage. You'll probably spend half of this map's 4-minute runtime shotgunning their snarling faces. Don't go leaping into the poison looking for goodies, you'll die and feel dumb doing so. Memento Mori may look primitive now, but in 95 this was cutting-edge stuff. For example, you won't find any see-through doors like this in Doom 2. Disclaimer, I've played this megawad twice in co-op and twice on my own, but I'm still hapless at finding this megawad's secrets, so go easy on me if I miss obvious stuff. Grade C, difficulty E. Map 3, interlock. Tom Mustaine does entryway. The end. This fidgety staircase hints at Memento Mori's love of environmental shapeshifting, which we'll see in abundance later on. The interlock feels like a Master Level's reject and passes in the blink of an eye. Grade D+, difficulty E. Map 4, the stand. The stand is the first of 3 Jens Nielsen maps in Memento Mori. His are the squarest and most procedural levels in the megawad, and while Nielsen's brand of fun and mine are like oil and water, I will acknowledge that he has one of the most consistent and identifiable styles in early 90s mapping. The stand is going to turn people away, especially newcomers to Doom in the 2020s who want to give an oldie a spin. It's not enjoyed so much as deciphered, and failure to play the puzzle game is punished severely. Example 1. The super shotgun is an unofficial secret. It's a real pain in the ass to get, but if you don't, have fun with all these Hell Knights in tight quarters and on flights of stairs, and say a prayer for this bit that locks you in a confined hallway with a Baron of Hell. Hey, Delinquent, you can fly. Would you hand me that super shotgun, please?
No thanks.
Why not?
Well, I would get it for you, but you'd have to admit that, you're a dirty cheater.
Never mind. Example 2. If you jump in the poison in hopes of finding a Romero-style reward or a clue about how to progress, you'll be consumed by 20 damage floor if hit scanners don't take your head off first. Example 3. The red key, which is necessary to exit, can only be accessed by opening a wall marked by an arrow on the floor, which you won't see unless you're coming up these stairs. This area is marked as a secret, by the way. I strongly encourage interacting with off textures and anything marked with a lightning bolt. The only thing that saves the stand from a swift F is Nielsen's creative multiplayer implementation. This switch at the start makes his map completable in single player, but it's blocked with decorations in co-op. Grade D-, difficulty B-. Map 5, Hell's Kitchen. Another unsubtle Doom 2 homage, Hell's Kitchen riffs on Doom 2's Circle of Death and Tenements, but manages to drain the fun out of both its inspirations. The restricted footing, clunky fights, and nagging damaging floor weigh this one down. These 2 Hell Knights guarding the secret blue key will ruin your day. A couple of health bonuses, a medikit, and a chain gun doesn't really offset the aggravation of dealing with them. This arbitrary megasphere almost compensates for the rad suit deprivation. One of the 2 available in this map is tucked down in the schmutz. Hell's Kitchen does look okay for 1995, even if it does just copy Romero. Grade D, difficulty C. Map 6, the Power Station. This grungy tech base is accidentally non-linear thanks to a conveniently spaced jump to the blue key, but unless you want to shake things up or test yourself, there's no reason to take the blue path first. It's easily the hardest. I quite like the unveiling of this climactic hit-scan shootout in the strobe-lit crate maze, and this lights-out Kako Inspector fight makes up for in enthusiasm what it lacks in actual entertainment value. The Power Station's secrets are either really obvious or really not. Sergeant and Klem are happy to gift you soul spheres and mega armor for pressing on wall panels, but they bury the backpack behind a door that opens when you shoot a candle, and climbing this random box reveals an imp and the auto map. Very 90s. This is an early MM map I actually kinda dig. Grade B-, difficulty D+. Map 7, Not That Simple. I'd go so far as to call it overcomplicated. Like The Stand, Not That Simple is an orthogonal, illogical, switch-heavy puzzle box, but it's my favorite Jens Nielsen map by a mile, and here's why. Of his 3 Memento Mori maps, Not That Simple rewards foreknowledge the most. You're probably going to hate this map and be stymied by it your first time through, but the good news is you'll dismantle it much more handily if and when you return to it. Uncovering this switch allows you to armor up and get a chain gun and SSG before stepping foot into the first big room. Then remember to check behind the giving tree for this ridiculously hidden rocket launcher, and the rest of the level's a piece of cake. Well, except for the maze, which is a complete waste of time by any metric. The Archvile fight in the secondary courtyard is my favorite in the map, mostly because Archviles are kind of a novelty in this WAD, and you'll be glad to have the rocket launcher on hand in this corridor with the switch that lowers the yellow key. Not That Simple is a pretty apt metaphor for Memento Mori. It's a big Doom 2 reference that mistakes complexity for sophistication. Grade C, difficulty C. Footnote, whatever happened to these textures? Map 8, And the Dead Shall Rise. Oren Flaherty must have been a big Romero fan, and the Dead Shall Rise borrows heavily from Thy Flesh Consumed, especially against the wickedly. In fact, the biblical title and total absence of Doom 2 monsters strongly suggests to me that this map was made for Doom 1. And I knew it. This level is underpopulated and the action is nearly inert, but at least you get a super shotgun to deal with the 7 barons. I really dislike that Flaherty forces you to make a leap of faith through the red door, and I don't understand why these loitering sergeants and Kakos are down here, or why the blue key platform lowers when you press on it. I guess the answer to all of these questions is, it was the 90s. Grade D, difficulty D. What's so funny?
I'm just really enjoying you not having fun all by yourself.
Well, it just so happens that I'm not all by myself.
Okay. Yeah, I have a really hard start, by the way. I'm surrounded by 3 Kakadins at the bottom.
Yeah, I actually remember that. The Delinquent was complaining.
Well, you can always turn around and just help me shoot the Kakos.
Sure. Do you get a super shotgun?
Not yet.
Map 9, High-Tech Grave. Since High-Tech Grave is a lengthy undertaking in solo play, I decided to ask Professor Decino, the legendary demon-slaying Dutchman, to accompany me. At first, it was just fun to have a friend along for the ride, but it wasn't long before the Dean of Doom got taken to school.
Alright, if you step aside, I'll launch some missiles. Yeah. This is booby trap, by the way, so... You may want to get out of here. Yeah, okay.
You gotta go same time, though, right?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Go. Okay. And if I were you, use the chain gun here. I can stunlock the Mancubi if needed. You don't have a backpack, do you?
No.
There's one here if you want.
Is there one over there?
Yeah. And look at this.
Megasphere, that's where it was hiding. What do you, what's your health like?
Enough. It's for you. Alright, now this stupid secret again.
Yep.
I'll go for it because I think it has a backpack. Which I don't have yet. There we go. And another secret. I'm just gonna look for the secret. I think it's a piece of shadow we missed or something. Yeah, got it. Take note how when you enter the slime, like 2 pipes get revealed that leak more slime, and then the floor level rises. Look.
Is it damaging floor?
Yeah, but look at this.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so... Oh! Okay, we kinda broke them up, but should be fine. The floor rose twice instead of once.
Oh, yeah, that's not the case for me. I cannot see through walls.
Okay, so it's a desync. Okay, good to know. And yeah, the last 4 secrets are here. Let's see if we can guess where they are.
How about the last 5 enemies? Is it behind one of these scratch walls? Or not? Oh, it is in here.
That's one.
That's Oh, it's each of these 4 compartments?
Yeah.
They're all the same. They all give you the same stuff.
One for each player.
With Decino's help, high-tech grave was a breeze, but it's heavier lifting and much more boring in single player. Except for this pair of E1M3 references, high-tech grave's many rooms run together, and the combat leaves minimal impression. After we exited, I asked Decino if he'd give a guest lecture on what we just played.
I kind of enjoyed this one. It is kind of cramped, but like in a good way. It's just a lot of hit scan aims. I didn't really mind it. Progression makes sense after you play through the map once, and the only thing I'm kind of missing is the co-op aspect, because you both start at different areas, but like not even 1 minute in, you join together. I guess we kind of broke the map, because I don't think you're supposed to teleport both into one of the split paths. I think because of Automax that doesn't have collision detection with players, you can both go through the teleporters like that, and I don't think that's supposed to happen, but it's more fun to just fight together, don't you think? I enjoy it. It's, you know, typical 1996 tech base.
I'm not quite as generous. Grade D, difficulty B-. Map 10, The Mansion. Designed by the author of Memento Mori's story, the mansion is a cozy locale decked out with Doomkid. The closets, bookcases, beds, chandelier, and atrium are comfy doses of familiarity in the midst of all this 90s abstraction. I had such a nice time with Professor Decino that I invited my good friend Professor Doomkid on the show for some friendly fiend fragging, as well as some free tips and a house tour.
If you need bullets, if you're running low, this little chest of drawers here has some boxes in it. There have been multiple times I was playing this WAD and I soft locked it at this spot.
By yourself or
Because you could straight...
Oh, over here.
Yeah. So if you jump across, there's a box of rockets, and if you go in there, you won't be able to come out. I'll have to let you out, basically. You can go ahead. Oh, there's 2 soul spheres. Oh, awesome. I was going to say you go ahead and grab it, but looks like we each get one.
Nice, as long as I don't die first. Oh, that's a bad room. I shouldn't have opened that. Pain elementals.
Lots of pain elementals. Oh,
Kill the
man,
delinquents.
so many.
Kill the delinquent's family. I'm sorry you had to hear that, delinquent.
Caught in 4K live. Gonna put this on YouTube. Gonna cancel the Dean of Doom.
Turns out Doomkid and I picked an excellent map to co-op, because the mansion's multiplayer monster placement is noticeably more aggressive, and Doomkid got to show me an area normally inaccessible in single player. Oh, nice. So, okay, hit that again here. All right, excellent. There we go.
That's the switch you was taking. So the little mouth opens here, which is cool.
Oh, I like that. That's really fun. Online interaction between Australia and the States is spotty, to put it mildly, but it's a small price to pay for the modern miracle of being able to play Doom with somebody across a continent and the Pacific Ocean.
I'm picking up the blue key and it's not even acknowledging it.
Really? You're like flying around on my screen, running backwards.
Now, oh god.
It's not good. I have a desynced revenant following me around who's harmless, who can't hurt anything. But he's like still appears. He's a pet.
The ghost.
I have a pet revenant. Something is bugging out. I've got a big red minus sign next to my rocket count right now. This desynced revenant, dude. My pet revenant. I bumped into him.
Following you?
And I bumped into him and woke him up, and he started following me again. Just beautiful. Tackled solo or with a buddy, the mansion is one of Memento Mori's simple pleasures. Here's what Doomkid had to say about it.
So, map 10 is one of my favorite Memento Mori maps. In single player, it's, not too tough. It has all the munitions you need to get through it. But in cooperative, things started to feel pretty sparse. So, and it was much tougher, but I liked it. I like going across to the little face that opens the mouth in cooperative. Just another example of Memento Mori's co-op stuff working really well. So, yeah, no, that was really fun. I like that.
Grade B, difficulty D+. Map 11, Halls of Insanity. Halls of Insanity is only noteworthy for having been designed expressly for cooperative play, which is reflected in Reuter and Möller's fairly sparse placement of health pickups, just 16 stims and 2 medikits. By the time you find the Mega Armor and Soul Sphere, the map is already over. 10 monsters are inaccessible in single player, as player 2 is expected to polish them off en route to the rendezvous point. Grade D, difficulty D+. Map 12, Kinetics. I try to give older maps the benefit of the doubt when they make design decisions that have long since fallen out of favor, but you can't polish a turd. Kinetics makes every mistake in the book. Tiny corridors, ridiculous height variation, unreasonably lean health and ammo allowance, extreme darkness, constantly having to deal with enemies above or below your sightline, needlessly obscure progression, missing textures, and idiotic fights like this. I would go into more specifics if I could stand to relive kinetics another time, but I can't. This is a stilted, painful dumpster fire. Grade F, difficulty C+. Map 13, the Inmost Dens 2. Why don't Inmost Dens imitators ever place their maps in the 14 slot? Maybe it's OCD, but Scythe Map 15, Plutonia Map 18, Hell Revealed 2 Map 24, and the Inmost Dens 2 all feel slightly out of place. Denis Möller stays pretty faithful to the formula, fusing American McGee's brown brick and water with his own sporadically creative touches. This weird 2D switch raises the stairs to the red key, and the pop-up exit trick is clever. Brothers Casali would go on to use it more famously in TNT Evolution Map 32. The Pinky and Baron Chapel fight bores me and ends on a really sour note. Until you press on this flashing, candle-topped wall or are saved by a teammate, you're locked in here forever. The Inmost Dens 2 should be remembered as the first in a long line of mediocre homages. Grade C, difficulty C. Map 14, Aqueduct. Mustaine spells it the way it ought to be spelled, but not how it's actually spelled. This short and modest-looking shoot-'em-up is one of Memento Mori's bright spots, a welcome relief from the co-op shenanigans, failed experiments, and long-winded labyrinths. Stay on the move in the main room to avoid getting Swiss cheesed or grilled by Mancubi, and keep the eyes in the back of your head peeled, because Mustaine likes to open up monster closets behind you. Both key rooms try to block your escape with trickles of teleporting monsters. The first cyber demon of the megawad guards the exit, but he should be a pushover with all the cells Mustaine gives you. Grade B-, difficulty C. Map 15, Karma Coma. With its whopping kill count, 10 secrets, and staunchly square layout, Karma Coma looks ready to lay the biggest egg in the megawad so far, but turns out pretty kick-ass if you ask me. With the proper itinerary and some confidence, you can blaze through it with a full backpack and a bloody grin on your face. Helmberger marks nearly all of his secrets with misaligned or off textures and candles. I particularly like the creative reward for finding this switch. It crushes 4 Mancubi that would have jumped you later. Between bouts of obligatory corridor shooting, Karma Coma hosts some densely packed fights that I'd venture to call proto-slaughter. Backed by Mark Klem's driving MIDI, these make for some of Memento Mori's best moments. This fully stocked warehouse is grade A foreshadowing. The ensuing blowout doesn't disappoint. You could fill a dump truck convoy with all these demon corpses. Take note, the switches in this building are a little weird. You can lock yourself out if you're not paying attention, and if you do, you won't be able to climb out of this window and rocket jump to the secret exit. Karma Coma is one of my perennial favorites in this set, compensating for its architectural simplicity and quiet interludes with satisfying gore fiestas. Grade B+, difficulty C+. Map 31, Technology Base. The only ungeneric thing about Technology Base is that it was designed exclusively for co-op mode. Half of the map is only reachable in single player with a specific exploit, but I didn't need it because Professor Decino and I got to join forces once more.
So we need to take care of our monsters on our side.
Yeah, okay. Good luck.
Yep, you too. This map is a bit lonesome whether or not you're playing singly. Except for a few choice reunions, it separates you and your teammate for a good chunk of its runtime.
Oh, there we are.
Oh wait, there we are.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
You lowered my teleporter, I lower your teleporter.
Big crops of hit scanners and unpleasant pitfalls are commonplace along both forks, and I don't know what to call these rocket launchers if not a taunt, because Möller put 0 rockets in the map.
Oh, one lowered the rocket launcher, at last.
Sorry, Decino. Players 1 and 2 reunite at the yellow key and fight side by side for the rest of the map.
Yeah, there you are.
Very nice.
We meet at last.
Wow, 1% health. Hype.
Oh, thank you, sir. You better run, boy.
Yep, lots of Pinky's inspectors. That's why they use berserks. How appropriate. The bar's opened.
Oh, you can just cheese it.
Oh, and the crushers are doing work as well.
Fast crushers.
Oh, they did some work on me.
Technology Base is ambitious, but flawed, and not a whole lot of fun. Let's see if Decino agrees.
Well, it's a confusing mess, that's for sure. You can add that to the review. Grade D-. Great ideas, poorly executed.
Grade D, difficulty C+. Map 32, the Hidden Slime Factory. Man, what a blunder it was to make this map not only optional, but inaccessible in single player unless you follow DoomWiki's directions. Map 31's super secret exit is only reachable from player 2's side. The Hidden Slime Factory is one of the megawad's most well-rounded maps. Negatives first. Mark Klem is obsessed with stair building to the point of distraction, and newcomers will spend a lot of time wondering what to do next. It's hard enough to get to the exit once without Klem teleporting you back to the beginning for no reason. On the plus side, the action is solid, Klem's secrets are findable and incredibly generous, and he knocks it out of the park from a detailing perspective. Have a look at this slime pumping apparatus, the Doomkid easy chair and dining room table, and this funky bit of forced texture curvature. While it's nothing earth-shattering from a modern vantage point, the Hidden Slime Factory is neat and inoffensive, which places it a cut above the average MM offering. Grade B, difficulty D. Map 16, Stoned, I'll say. Stoned is one of the most uneven maps in Memento Mori, a string of half-baked ideas stapled together. It starts off in a brown quarry, then leads underground to a lava cavern, spills into a command center wallpapered with the icon of sin, and drops down into a pair of inexplicably grassy areas. Kurt Schmidt scatters secrets all over the place, behind pairs of torches, in nigh unmissable pitfalls and monster closets, and a few non-obvious niches. Ride this door up to a chain gunner attic, hit a switch, and you'll find a motherload of supplies. Despite its eccentricities, Stone is much more up-tempo than you'd expect. I like this yellow key fake-out, and the double arch-file attack comes quite unexpectedly. The exit room, though? This is the kind of shit that makes enemies with completionists. I'll give Schmidt this. Whether or not he was puffing the magic dragon when he made this, he's not afraid to make mistakes. Grade C, difficulty C. Map 17, House of Thorn. Eric Sombach's My House.wad comes even closer to realism than map 10, but it's much more cramped and disagreeable. I don't know how you're supposed to finish this map if you don't find the secret plasma rifle in the basement, which you access by hitting this switch and shotgunning an archvile. The super shotgun is also tucked away, this time in a weapons locker in the study, where you also have to know to press this wall to get a blue key. The red key, which opens the exit, is guarded by a Hell Knight and 2 pairs of Barons that can teleport around in a tight space, and there's another archvile and a Mancubus quartet the next room over. Without the secret weapons, you're screwed. I had a rough time in this recording. House of Thorn pissed me off enough to warrant an Impulse F, but upon reflection and replay, it's not quite as awful as I thought. Those last 2 Barons are pure disrespect though. Grade D, difficulty B. Map 18, A Dead Man's Town. God damn, an archvile in the first room? What is this, Hell Revealed? Turns out, this town is big enough for the 2 of us. The map is calibrated specifically for multiplayer once again. Despite giving solo goers the same amount of ammo as co-op mode, A Dead Man's Town lives up to its name if you overlook the early plasma rifle. The second one comes so late it might as well be useless. The Armed and Dangerous Homeowners Association in the first borough and the grassy quadrangle will pepper the inattentive with cheap shots, and the latter's roaming heavies, archvile lieutenants, and copious perched barons, revenants, and hit scanners are a menace without weapon 6. When you obtain the blue key, archviles are released on the ground and on this rooftop, so don't let them get busy. I managed to beat this map without cheating to backtrack for the plasma or this ludicrous secret, so my view of this map's difficulty is skewed considerably, but even so, I appreciate Henrik Rothschi's pushing of the proverbial envelope. Grade B-, difficulty A-. Map 19, Maltraitor. Yes, I know it's a French word, but this isn't the French episode. Michael Rapp went on to make one of my favorite maps in Requiem 2 years later, but Maltraitor is a subdued, linear plod that's little more than a vehicle for Mark Klem's ambient MIDI. Taking after his fellow Memento morons, Michael Rapp fills his map with experimental doohickeys like the switch that raises the slime at the start, the split button, the donut-shaped crusher, and the one-way glass in the Soul Sphere room. Maltraitor is otherwise forgettable and painless. Grade C-, difficulty D-. Map 20, Mountain Depot. An affable outdoor adventure with a couple of major design flaws, Mountain Depot gets off to a laid-back start, setting you loose in a brightly lit, wide-open sandbox full of monsters. To move forward, you'll need the red key, which can only be accessed by jumping into a poison pit and pressing on the slime fall it's sitting on, which is almost unforgivably janky. It also breaks in Z-Doom if you don't let the elevator fully rise behind you first. Thanks, Scott. With that behind you, Mountain Depot resumes being generally tolerable. You can infiltrate the zombie-occupied compound through the back door, which is guarded by a cyberdemon. Veer left into the tunnel to get a megasphere and invuln, which should help you make short work of Cybe, then find this teleporter, nab the blue key in storage, plug the remaining goons, get the yellow key, and split. If you find 3 lion switches, you'll unlock the Megawad's first BFG, which is needlessly difficult to grab. Thanks, Scott. Also, 100% kills is impossible here because of the unreachable shotgun guy on the hill. Thanks, Scott. Grade C+, difficulty C. Map 21, Twilight Lab. Probably one of the biggest vanilla levels of its day, Twilight Lab is the only level in Memento Mori whose overlength doesn't really bother me, especially when I have a buddy to help tackle it with me.
This.
Oh,
Triggered
crap.
something. Freaking pain elementals. Well, there go the cells.
Ooh, man.
Well, we actually did that really well.
Oh, here it is. Here's the other secret, the archviles.
Oh god, what? Don't hit that switch again, he's gonna get out.
Oh no, I thought I could take him down.
Oh, we got him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see that?
I've got a pistol.
That's. Oh wait, there's a box of rockets. There's a box of rockets. I'm gonna go for it.
Get
All
it.
right, stand clear. I'm gonna go by this left door here, and I'm gonna try to pump the vial full of rockets. Oh, I got him. Oh
Nice.
yes.
Twilight Lab was originally a standalone release by Bedoric, which explains the huge scale. It runs the gamut of styles, from science center to sewer to crate maze, and seems content to let its combat play second fiddle to exploration. The map is so large, these color-coded directions are actually a big help. Maybe I just played it on a good day, but Twilight Lab's eclectic sprawl feels less indulgent than the works of Jens Nielsen or the Mollers. For once, it's not such a drag to get lost in Memento Mori.
There is a really quote-unquote thrilling secret that we need to get doing this weird little crate scaling stuff.
Is this all for a secret, or is this for a specific... I thought we were getting a key here.
No, it's a secret, and it's the lamest secret over there. See how amazing that loot is right there, dude?
Wait, that's a secret?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was... I have never felt such a rush of excitement playing Doom in all my life.
Grade B+, difficulty C+. Map 22, The Escape. One of the less tedious Denis Möller joints, The Escape is probably most notable for the Spider Demon sandwich. It's Memento Mori's biggest jump scare, but the brains on legs are a cinch to turn against each other. In this run, I optimized their infighting precisely enough to finish them off with only 6 bullets. I really appreciate how Möller raises elevators to checkpoint your progress by the yellow and blue doors. It's a considerate gesture ahead of its time. His use of shootable walls is less forward-thinking. The first one flung an exploding barrel at my face, and the second hid the last kill on the map for me for a few minutes. I'm also not sure about this blue key teleporter sequence. The deep water effect is cool and all, but clearing out the same wet corridor 4 times in a row isn't. The escape is not particularly tough or enjoyable. Grade C, difficulty C. Map 23, Showdown. Ham-handed though it is, Showdown is one of Memento Mori's best crowd pleasers, an unfolding slaughterfest stuffed to capacity with hell's heaviest. Milo Casali's texturing and layout look like a child's refrigerator drawing compared to the Innocent Crew's work, but his uninhibited approach to action is vastly more entertaining than anything the Möller brothers did in this wad. Keep in mind, this predates the Plutonia experiment. Showdown is like Go To It light, packing double-digit revenants, barons, mancubi, arachnotrons, and archviles, but also drowning the player in rockets, shells, cells, and power-ups. There are 68 medikits scattered around, and the final leg of the map is much less intimidating with a couple of megaspheres and a white screen to hide behind. Don't flunk out of Archvile Flight School and save a few BFGs for the Flame Boys to try to restart the party when you go for the yellow key. Unfortunately, I do have to take off points for these caged barons at the end. What a buzzkill. Grade B, difficulty B. Map 24, Die Hard. I was all ready to label Die Hard a prototype for Plutonia's Final Frontier and Antichrist, but as it happens, Milo made both of those maps and probably took inspiration from his brother's work more than he borrowed from Romero. Die Hard is the first in a long line of living end lookalikes. You'll be scooting along thin ridges, battling barons, wrangling floating foes, and keeping 2 eyes out for Cyberdemon rockets in this subterranean slugfest. Behind this shootable wall lies a teleporter that whisks you away to a secret BFG, invaluable for clearing this circus, toasting Cybe, and cleaning up the myriad meatballs remaining. This is the last time you'll hear Mark Klem's The Wind, the only repeated track in Memento Mori that scores exclusively good maps. The Casali duology was fun while it lasted. Grade B+, difficulty A-. Map 25, Cesspool. You can't spell Memento Mori without meme. Cesspool is a display of confidently executed incompetence masquerading as creativity. I want to count its idiocies from the beginning. 1. Walking on these computer panels turns pointless crushers on and off. 2. This shootable switch unlocks a crucial secret, but first-timers are guaranteed to miss it. 3. The next room contains 6 cabinets with goodies sitting on elevators that lower to meaningless imps, but 30 seconds after the start of the map, those cabinets close forever. It's impossible to get all the kills and secrets in this room unless you take advantage of 4, these shootable lamps, which open a closet with a chain gunner and 2 imps. Going for the 5, impossible to reach an unnecessary blue key, takes you to the 6th meaningless imp, who guards an absurd number of rad suits that you, 6, can't go back for. 7. The red key is not down this way, it's back in the first room. Only clairvoyants will know to press on this pedestal and then the wall behind it to open a lift to the skull key, which is 8, technically optional. 9. You get punished for opening these windows by Kekos and a pain elemental, which are a problem if you're low on ammo, but utterly harmless if you're not the curious type. 10. These doors only open if you shoot or punch the switches next to them, because why not? The poison and blood reservoirs both use the deep water effect, which is fine, except for 11A, it looks like garbage here, and 11B, you're totally invisible to monsters when you're in the water and they're not, leading to several really broken fights, like 12, the finale with the Spider Mama, who can't retaliate against anything because she can't see anything because she's knee-deep in 13. The yellow key is randomly lying in blood. 14. There are 4 exits and some of them block you for some reason. 15. If you don't find a good chunk of these secrets, you're definitely going to run out of ammo. And 16. This is as good a time as any to mention that I really don't like this MIDI, and this is the 3rd damn time we're hearing it in this megawad. Cesspool is aptly named. It's one of the worst maps to ever insinuate itself into a popular megawad, and the most obvious flunk in Dean of Doom history. Grade F. Difficulty B-. Map 26, Between Scattered Corpses, the innocent crew's greatest gift to Memento Mori. Between Scattered Corpses is straight-up, balls-to-the-wall action. After skirting past the infamous quintuplet of masterminds in the opening room, you'll cage fight with an angry mob of Arachnos, Manx, Hell Knights, Cacos, and spectating imps. Now armed with a BFG, you can clobber the surviving spiders, gut this sewer full of grunts, and steamroll the exit defenders. This is another one of Professor Doomkid's favorites, so I asked him to show me the ropes.
Okay, so there's a BFG coming up that I'm trying to cut my way to.
Yep, I'll be your windbreak here.
My wingman, my frontman, or whatever.
Whatever.
I've got a bunch of ammo already, so if you want to grab all that stuff, you can. There's a BFG down in the hole too.
Oh hell
There
yes.
we go.
Oh now we're stocked. Oh, and cacodemons. Yes. Oh, this is actually really cool. Wait, no, don't shoot yet. You can't shoot through the cage right now. It, like, you gotta watch him resurrect everything.
Yeah.
This is really cool, actually. I love this part. I'm gonna shoot the cyber demon. Just like 2002, A Doom Odyssey.
Oh. That is hilarious.
Memento Mori gives me a craving for unruly maps like this. Unfortunately, it's the last level in the set that I think of fondly. Grade B+, difficulty C+. Map 27, Fort Hades. A master level in all but name, Fort Hades is a circuitous slime base suffering from uneven visuals, bland encounters, a confusing layout, and excess secrets, including a buried rocket launcher and super shotgun. It feels paunchy for its slim monster count. Apart from the blue key cyber duel, which you can just run away from if you want, and the optional megasphere fight in the dark, there are no memorable moments to speak of here. I prefer Mountain Depot, major design flaws and all. Grade D, difficulty C+. Map 28, City of the Unavenged. The ultimate Jens Nielsen experience, City of the Unavenged is the sternest test Memento Mori has to offer. It requires a substantial investment of effort, diligence, and patience to subdue its forces and unravel its progression. If this map were just its first 5 minutes, it might be my favorite in the whole megawad now that I know where to find the SSG. I love a good street fight. These first few archvile intrusions get the juices flowing, and Nielsen lays out enough armor, shells, and health to keep your energy up, but the moment your boomstick goes silent, the map dies. City of the Unavenged is one of the quintessential works of switch huntism. Rarely, if ever, have I seen a map so artificially draw itself out. DoomWiki's walkthrough for this map is half the length of this video's script for good reason. Nielsen goes to extreme lengths to befuddle the player. And for what? A few more minutes spent listening to boy, you know, after the 400th time, I actually really like that part, come to think of it. Making matters worse, the action quickly spirals into cheap, mean-spirited point-blank ambushes and repetitive sessions of cleaning up goons that Archviles reanimated. Once more, I called upon Professor Decino for assistance, and this time we really had our work cut out for us.
Oh, Christ. Oh, my God. Oh, no, another Archvile.
I don't remember this beginning being so lethal. That's she's on that pillar in the middle.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to it, but...
Wow, yeah, this is chaos. Oh god.
Archie. No.
I am dead.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yep.
Hello. You want to get out of there? But you know what else is here?
What? Another cyber demon.
Became a statue.
2 more minutes, internet. Need 2 more minutes. You see a Baron attacking?
With enough familiarity and preparation, City of the Unavenged isn't quite as daunting as it seems, but it's never not a slog. Decino had this to say of it.
Okay, single player, I played this like a week ago, it was an awful experience, but this co-op session I actually found really enjoyable. Of course you have twice the firepower, so that helps, but also like these very subtle cooperative elements I found really intuitive. And I'm actually quite impressed that this is, what, 25 years old? And they already thought of stuff like that. Multiplayer is a really good experience for this map. Single player, not so much.
My single player grade is D-, difficulty A-. Map 29, Island of Death. I suspect Thomas Möller knew how unnecessarily convoluted his map was because in single player you can hang a right, grab the red key, and dart through the chapel, down the stairs, past the berserk packs, and through the red door. Then you can hit a switch and run immediately to the exit, beating the map in 30 seconds flat. Island of Death is Memento Mori in a nutshell. Long, confusing, full of pinkies, messily integrated single and multiplayer gameplay. God help me, I gave Island of Death more than one chance, but I never tracked down every kill, never fully plumbed its long list of non-secret secrets, and I remain baffled by its purposefully inaccessible design choices. The only encounter I sort of like is the big fight by the monster spawning machine after you grab the yellow key. The rest is just a big, amorphous memory of shotgunning stuff. I'm pretty sure several things broke during my recorded playthrough because these sites don't look normal. It also took me 3 solo playthroughs to figure out how to open this iron door, which I know there's another way up here, but when presented with a door that I know should open from multiplayer experience, and when I can see the thing opening from out of the corner of my eye, I want to be able to open it without having to lower myself into a pit, time a switch press and another door, run to catch it, and then be met with another door that requires another switch to open. This is what I mean by messily integrated single and multiplayer gameplay. I won't go quite so far as to call this garbage, but the last thing Memento Mori needed was to get in one more impenetrable drag before the buzzer. Grade D-, difficulty C+. Map 30, Viper. Milo Casali holds the unusual distinction of having created 2 classic-style Icon of Sin maps that are actually pretty fun. Gather supplies, rush the fortress, and ready the BFG before taking the demon teleporter so you won't get your face clawed off like I did. Press this switch and circle back to the library to obtain the blue key, restock as needed, and then it's time to duke it out with the demon spitter. The gimmick here is Casali placed a cyber demon in front of Romero's head, and you need to wear him down by fitting rockets through this slot. It's just barely big enough to fit plasma bolts through, so I usually don't waste my time trying. With Cybe out of the way, pump rockets into the unguarded brain hole and rejoice. My profuse thanks to Mr. Casali for not making his map 30 a big ordeal. Grade B-, difficulty D. So, I have to get something off my chest. I really don't like Memento Mori. I understand that it's a nostalgia bender for certain people. I feel the same way about TNT Evolution, and it's objectively impressive for being made before the advent of proper Doom editing tools, but empathy and respect translate to diddly squat in terms of entertainment for me. This episode has been over a year in the making, and I'll be honest, if my patrons didn't vote for Memento Mori to appear in Season 2, I would have canned it a long time ago. It's not the most painful megawad I've covered, and doesn't quite sink to master levels of incompetence, but it is undoubtedly the most mediocre Doom experience I portrayed on this show, which made it the hardest wad to write about.
Hey, I have a question. If it's so bad, then why did you make me sit through an entire lecture on it? What's the point of calling something a classic if you actually hate it?
That's how the canon works, Delinquent. We keep on teaching the musty tomes so people resent them enough to outdo them.
You mean like what Halo, Half-Life, and Call of Duty did to Doom?
Okay, class dismissed.
Finally.
Anyway, my final grade for Memento Mori is a D+, with the caveats that I have no special connection with it, and it's not in any way my kind of Doom wad. As always, please take my opinion with a grain of salt. As for difficulty, I'll rate it a solid C, quite a bit tougher than Doom 2, but approachable enough for non-hardcore players to have a stab at. It's fun with friends. Speaking of which, I want to thank my good buddies and longtime friends of the channel, Decino and Doomkid, for joining me on this little journey. Your company, firepower, and expertise made the 6 levels we played together easily my favorite part of this video's production. I hope I can find an excuse to bring you guys back for another episode if you're game. Now for my Dean's List. Valedictorian, Map 26, Between Scattered Corpses. Salutatorian is a tie between Map 15, Karma Coma, and Map 24, Die Hard. Class President, Map 28, City of the Unavenged, and the dunce cap goes to Map 25, Cesspool. Thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the wad down below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll heart your comments to let you know I've read them. Now I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons. If you don't mind, I'm going to go easy on my voice because it's almost dead right now. AR, Aaron Allen, Agile Jackson, Agu XYZ, Akalai, Alec Wehrman, Alexander Sumenkoff, Alex Topfer, Alex Max, Andrew Luther, Bo Higginbotham, Builder Sith, Bitefire, Kappa Bitch, Captain Wave, Kali Bluefin, Cheese Wheel, Chris Duthat, Chris O'Neill, Christopher Hart, Christophine Place, Crafty One Cow, Dan, Dave Davidson, Delirium, Dorothy Miller, Eggboy, Ember, Emma Essex, Faithful, Felix Wilson, Francis T218, Furnace, General Roasterock, Glenn Marmon, Griffin Upchurch, Gus Shade, Have a Seat, Holy Hell Revealed When, In Captivity, Jeff Hibbert, Jeff Sharilla, Jose Ballestero, Josh Ballard, Just Some Schmuck, Just Great 98, Camille Bernadotte, Killplane, Leon Staten, Logan Lazalda, Mark Rowland, Master Drew 117, Matt, Matthew Gower, Michael Akins, Mixer, MK 2021, Moko Mothman MM47, Mozicon, Mr. Meme 1990, Myolden, Neurometry, Nick Machado, Knights 108, Number 26, Omnibot, Orion Burke Pool, Painful Hell 72, Philip Coffey, Pixel Perfect PT, Pyro She, Randy A, Reese, Roadworks, Rune, Sega Monkey, Sid Menon, Space Clanka, Stonemason, Stupid Nick, Tarakashino, The Dinosaur Heretic, TJG1289, Tropy Trillion, Turbine 2K5, Ultra Cow, Vertigo, Why Bimo Not a Crab, William Huber, and Simon Coos. Thank you. I appreciate you all very much. This is Mount Pain 27, and I'll see you in the Season 2 finale of Dean of Doom.